As the race to reach the promised land really does hot up at this stage of the season. It's at Middlesbrough in midweek, so with the Welshman nursing a hamstring injury, Willie Gnonto steps into the breach. Then have drafted in 18-year-old Brentford loanee Jayden Magoma as part of two changes to the side that can
finding pockets of spaces to try and create or find himself a goal.
And in terms of the latest edition of the Championship promotion race is off and underway. Burnley without Pascal Struijk for the rest of the campaign. Leeds so often fast start.
That early goal settled the nerves down.
Junior Firpo trying to get on the end of this, but Kane Kesler-Hayden is well. And the chip forward by Ben Whiteman. Now Gruev. And Solomon urged to shoot, and he does! Well, isn't that just sensational? Leeds United need a hero today, and Manor Solomon has announced himself inside the opening few minutes. It's Leeds who get their customary early goal.
With the nerves, but can it settle the tempo as well?
A lot of space here for Kane Kesler-Hayden. And look at that! A response within moments! Would you believe it? Leeds are pegged back straight away. Delight for Preston North End. An unlikely score in the shape of Leeds United. Some of the supporters were still celebrating. Cheers.
I think he's had an excellent season. I think it's been a good signing for Preston North End, and I think
waited for the run in field of Andy Hughes. Osmach, as he kept himself onside. The flag eventually does.
We'll have to find out now. It's a big goal for Preston.
Oh, Piru has won it back off Kesler-Hayden. Turned away by David Cornell. And jumps for Bogle. And Cornell. And jumps for Bogle. And he'll have a crack. Solomon. And Firpo pointing the way forward on the underlap, and he's beaten Storm. In by Solomon, and Roden was lurking. Less than 2 minutes between the opener and the equalizer. Here is Solomon. And Solomon retrieves it again. It's his cross, and bundled in by Bogle! Leeds United back in front. It's an early goal fest at Ellen Road, and Jayden Bogle was there to smuggle it home. And Daniel Farke's team lead again. To Bogle once more, and suddenly they're flooding forward, but Gnonto couldn't keep his feet at the vital moment. It's come back to Bogle once again. Hughes. It's going to bounce down towards Osmach. Rodner today. It'll be delivered in by Brady. Real whip on that, and good hands from Bogle. That's a clever ball over the top towards Piru. And in the end, he'll go for it! And not too far wide of the post. Leeds really do look in the mood for... Gruev calling for it just in front of Tanaka, but Ampadu in a better pocket of space. And you could see what he was trying to do.
It could be difficult things to do.
Here is Magoma skipping away from Tanaka. And the Krokiar. And Brady blocked off by Aaron.
The teams to do you a favour.
That's forward towards Brady, and he'll get on the end of it.
That's the issue there.
And now Leeds come forward at the other end. Gnonto tried the early ball. Solomon might open up for him again. Tried to go through the middle. It'll come to Gnonto! And smart save from David Cornell. Roden among those forward here. On for Leeds, perhaps. Town this time last week. He sets a perfection story. Osmach not having much to feed off so far. He's at Norwich on the 11th of February, just one of 3 away league wins so far this season. For
keeping your concentration and being brave to try and make Preston work hard.
Tanaka was caught. He might have a problem here. Still very much a teenager, only 18. Over the top towards Peru. And now it's Leeds looking to extend their advantage. And Firpo, can he steer it back across? Aronson was there. And somehow Peru not able to convert. And delivered in by Gruev. Roden trying to get under. And Bogle continued his run, as did Junior Firpo. Plenty in the middle to aim at. It's come back to Aronson.
Leeds going forward. Hasn't really gone to the game much, Aronson, so far.
Frockyar's lost it, and it'll come through here to Solomon, trying to wriggle his way.
Doesn't it? Referee, I thought, was in an excellent position that sometimes when you see it at a certain angle.
Zmajic is going to chase. Magoma. Time to do the Revy end of the ground. Went right underneath Darlow, who proved that his handling was very good again.
What to say.
Monto trying to burst through, and he's looked for Brendan Aronson here, and he can pick his spot again, and not able to test Cornet a second time, but he
got him into the game. He's an influence, he's a threat.
And Gibson looks for Osmajic with that very direct ball by Peru. And Firpo on the burst, but couldn't pick out Solomon. Kessler Hayden then Monto trying to break in between the lines and looking early for Peru, and he just couldn't direct it on target so far. And at the break, Leeds lead by 2-1. And Preston North End get the game back off and underway. Back by Firpo now to Gruev, and Firpo continued his run up the inside left, and he's beaten Kessler Hayden to it. And Frockyar, Brady again, and they are building something here perhaps. That's a lovely ball in by Brady. And Firpo had to get across in front of Kessler Hayden. And Brady with the corner. Nobody expected it to end up like this. And Carl Darlow makes a super save. Brady's there again. And in the way, Tanaka this time. It was a route. This time Brady taking a more direct route. And come out towards Frockyar. And over the top by Osmajic. But it wouldn't have counted anyway. A little touch by Solomon is a lovely one, and Aronson can poke it onto Peru here, goes for it early. Not a bad effort, but again he can't test the goalkeeper. Looking to pick out Firpo here. Kane Kessler Hayden gets there first. Good work on the recovery by the retreating Firpo. Here he is starting to try and goal. Oh, and it's Hinton back on for Preston North End. Solomon. He's going to shift back onto the right foot, goes on the outside instead, and Peru hits the bar. It just will not go in for him. Knocking at the door in search of a third goal. And Solomon, and Aronson's continued his run, and this time it's Nonto who can't convert, and the number. And Preston North End 7 points clear of the championship relegation. Picking out Tordarson, and he looks over the top towards Frockyar. Not fully dealt with initially by Ampadu, but into the path of Firpo. Touch away from Tordarson. Back to Junior Firpo. Lovely move. And denied at the very last moment, but to the left foot. And now he goes wide to Bogle. That's a great cross, and Peru maybe just couldn't stretch quite hard.
More direct when you've got recent Osmajic up there because they're big, they're physical.
That's in towards Osmajic again, but Peru is there with his back to goal, so he might have to lay it off. He does in the end to Solomon, and he tried to rifle it into the near corner. The quarter of the game. Delivered by Solomon, and it's bobbled wide again, and still the third goal. Driving beyond Magoma.
Hasn't really offered too much. You mentioned their set plays just become a little bit more important now.
Start to get nervy if they do end up doing so for Leeds United. 20 minutes to go. As well, Kessler Hayden. Tordarson. Now Whiteman can deliver. But he's going to go long again. Out comes Darlow. Long way. Right to the edge of the penalty area, and the free kick given by the referee. And Carl Darlow Into the free kick given away by the goalkeeper. It's Ben Whiteman, and he tried to go goalkeeper's side, but look at what it means to a couple of weeks ago. Whiteman to hang it up. On here for Leeds United. Brendan Aronson is there. Terrific challenge by Whiteman. And Firpo then slides in. And this is Piru. Is this his moment? Well, still not quite. As Leeds. But here comes Bogle. Whiteman gets there first. It doesn't get it away. Bogle in towards Piru. Long by David Cornell. Chasing is Reese, but Schmidt done well. Solomon with the delivery. As Maich is chasing, Bogle's got to be careful. Whiteman in by Frokja, and it's almost taken away from goal in the end. Almost feels like the sort of scenario you'd see on the final day of the season, not with all the goalkeeper nearly in charge.
Correct, and you have to do that more, which they haven't done.
Good work by Firpo.